Good evening and welcome to the January 13th organizational meeting. At this time, I would ask everybody to stand and join me in taking the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Fredell, could you take roll for us?
Yes, I'd be happy to. President Singer.
Here.
Vice President McFarland.
Here.
I'm Treasurer Fredell. Secretary Baker is absent. Member Blasy.
Here.
Member Lauderbach. Absent. Member Rausch.
Here.
Okay, thank you. The first order of business in our organizational meeting is to elect an acting chairperson, seeing this is the beginning of a new year. So traditionally what we've done is the acting president would stand in until we elect a new president, but we would have to have a motion and a second, and I'll vote on that.
I make that a motion that we would have the acting president act as president until we have the new replacement.
Support.
Moved by Mary, support by Phil. Open for discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The second order of business is for us to elect an acting secretary and as a temporary secretary. And I would say, since Member Baker is not here, if we could consider Mary Fredell as our acting secretary.
I'll move that we accept Mary Fredell as our temporary secretary. Support.
Moved by Scott, support by Phil. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And motion carries. Thank you. All right, we'll move into item 2, which is identification of district's legal status. Do we have anyone that's going to speak on that?
So is that required in 1996, and you had districts had a couple options. This is really the only viable option, so it's a standard each year that you approve that you're a general power school district.
Great, and this is for information or action?
For action.
Okay, at this point, I'll consider a motion to act on the school revised code.
Make a motion to approve the district's legal status as defined as a general power school district.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Rausch, supported by Mr. McFarland. And is there any discussion? Standard operating procedures. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And it passes unanimously. Moving into item 3, which is the election of officers of the board. As outlined in Board Policy 150, a 3-person Board of Education nominating committee submitted a proposed slate of officers for 2020. The proposed slate is as follows. President, Mr. Scott McFarland. Vice President, Ms. Pamela Singer. Secretary, Mr. Phil Rausch. And Treasurer, Ms. Mary Fredell. At this time, I would welcome a motion to accept the officers as recommended.
Make a motion to accept the officers as listed in item 3.
Support.
Moved by Rausch, support by McFarland, and now we'll open it for discussion. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move into vote. All in favor of approving item 3, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And it passes unanimously. Moving into item 4, which is appointment for study committee. We have study committee appointments for the administrative services. We have Brad Blasy as chair, John Lauderbach, and Pam Singer. For the Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment Committee, we have Lynn Baker as chair, Mary Fredell, and Pam Singer on that committee. For the Finance, Facilities, and Operations Committee, we have Mary Fredell as chair, as our treasurer is always chair of that committee. We have Scott McFarland and Phil Rausch. For our human resources, we have John Lauderbach as chair, Lynn Baker, and Pam Singer. Other committee appointments for the 2020 District School Improvement, we have Phil Rausch. For 2020 Gerstacker Teacher Proficiency Award, we have John Lauderbach. For 2020 Distinguished Service Award, we have Lynn Baker. For 2020 Advisory Board on Instruction in Sex Ed, we have Brad Blasy. For 2020 MPS School Board Association Rep and CGRESD, we have Mary Fredell and Pam Singer. And that is a new committee, and Mary and I are both looking forward to doing that, but we've talked to other board members as well, and they would be our backups if we couldn't make any of those events. So I believe.
Events are open to all
Yeah.
as well if you do want to attend.
Okay, very good. I don't believe we have to vote on the study committees. Those are just appointed. So we can move on to item 5. Well, actually, since Scott is our new president, we can switch places and you could continue running the meeting.
Great.
Changing of the gavel. There you go.
Thanks.
Yep. Should I switch the names?
Yeah, he doesn't look like Pam. Pam doesn't look like Scott, so.
And then Phil is the secretary, right?
So I'm done.
So you can either do that from there if you want to.
You can do it from there.
Yeah,
I'll
you can do
stay
that from there.
Musical chairs.
All right, continuing on with item 5, this is informational. It is a 5.1 it is recommended for action, I'm sorry. This is, the Board of Education is required to give public notice of the dates of its regular meetings and of any special meetings. The recommended regularly scheduled meetings of the Board of Education of the Midland Public Schools for 2020 are listed below. All meetings are held at 7 p.m. at Midland Public Schools Administration Center, 600 East Carpenter Street, Midland, Michigan, unless otherwise stated. Dates of special meetings or changes in the dates of regular meetings will be posted 18 hours prior to the time of a special or rescheduled meeting. The superintendent or designee is authorized to post notices of meetings at the discretion of the Board of Education, and those dates are listed in the agenda. So, seeing that, we'll take a motion to approve.
I move to approve item 5.1, the public notice of all of our meetings.
Support.
Any discussion on those dates or anything about 5.1?
No.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay. Moving on, number 6, we have appointments, designations, and Board of Education matters. These are all action items. 6.1 is appointment of the Board of Education's legal counsel. The firms of LaPointe, Butler, PC, Lusk Albertson, PLC, and the Troon Law Firm, PC, have been designated as the board's legal counsels. In addition, the superintendent is authorized to retain specialized legal counsel through other legal firms as appropriate. It's recommended that the board approve legal representation as outlined through December 31, 2020.
I move to appoint the Board of Education legal counsel, LaPointe, Butler, PC, Lusk, Albertson, PLC, and Thrun Law Firm.
Support.
Motion by Pam, support by Mary. Any discussion?
Who is LaPointe Butler?
They're more, we seldom ever use them, but they are more expertise in special education is typically why you'll see them listed. At one time, we probably had them on a retainer. I don't think we do anymore for the special education director. So all of these school law firms have special education staff, but they were at one time considered the expertise in special education.
Okay. Any other questions? Discussion?
I've been real pleased with Thrun Law Firm in the last several years, and they've been very responsive and have done a wonderful job for us.
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job in assisting us the board members and working with the administration as well.
They're the largest and the oldest of school law firms. Clark Hill would be their biggest competitor. They're bigger in Grand Rapids Southeast, probably in some areas. And then Lusk Alberson is kind of a new firm. Some of the partners once left to those two firms and created one. So we have used them in the past. If you recall our residency status of our Mandarin teacher, we used them. They had a little expertise there.
Okay. All in favor of adopting 6.1?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, passes 5-0. Next is item 6.12, fiscal designations and authorizations, and we'll turn that one over to Mike.
So this is pretty typical for you, and generally you list your main bank, and chemical is nearly everything we have. We've done some cleanup in the past, but under Michigan School Code law, it does suggest that you do any bank that meets that in the state. That way, if we wanted to shop rates or there was reasons to move, we would move. We certainly would get your approval before doing that. So that's just a standard practice there.
Okay. I'll take a motion to approve item 6.12.
I move to approve item 6.12, fiscal designation and authorization using Chemical Bank and any other public depository qualified in accordance to MCL 380-1221.
Support.
Motion by Pam, support by Phil. Any discussion?
We have shopped rates, so we do that on a regular basis. Lori's very good at bringing that to us. Chemical has been very friendly with the merging that to us. They want to keep us.
Very good.
Our associate superintendent for finance is?
Brian?
Brian.
Brian?
Yes.
That's what I thought. I just want to double check.
Yep.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Seeing none, motion passes. Next, 6.13, personnel authorizations. Again, back to Mike.
So this is also your typical designating myself for any personal action as well as retirements or resignations. And so I act as through your ability to designate to me.
More standard operating procedure stuff, right?
Very standard.
Okay, take a motion to approve item 6.13.
Make the motion, we approve item 6.13, designating the superintendent as the designee to sign any legal documents relating personnel action, which the board has approved.
Support.
Motion by Mary, support by Pam. Any discussion on 6.13? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? None. Motion passes. Next, item 6.14. This is a hard cap for employees' medical benefit plan. Who's going to pick this one up? Brian will.
Yep, thank you, sir. In 2011, Public Act 152 specified that public employers had a limit or a cap on how much they could spend toward employee medical plans. You had two options. One was to follow the hard cap limits that they established, or two was to follow an 80%, 20% blend model. We want to reaffirm that we are going to follow the hard cap limits set by the state of Michigan. Those increase annually by the Consumer Price Index, and that's a practice that we would like to continue into the year. And so we need to reaffirm that commitment tonight.
Okay, thanks, Brian. I'll take a motion to approve item 6.14.
I move to approve item 6.14, hard cap for employee medical benefit plan.
Support.
Moved by Pam, support by Mary. Any discussion?
Hard caps have proven to be the right route for school boards in controlling healthcare costs. So at the time, wasn't sure which way to go, but during that trend over that time, each year it's proven to be the hard cap is the right route. So feel confident there.
Thanks, Mike. All in favor of supporting the motion?
Say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Last item, 6.15, administrative assistant authorization, and that'll be Mike.
Yep, so you always designate my designee, which is Cindy at AAOP, to assist with school boards. There's less and less, or election processes, there's less and less of that. That one time, schools ran their own elections, and so there's less of that, but there's certainly communication back and forth with the clerk and forms and those pieces of it, and so Cindy does that for you.
Can we get a motion to approve item 6.15?
Motion to approve administrative assistant authorization of Cindy Young.
Support.
Motion Pam, support by Phil. Any discussion? Okay, all in
Cindy's
favor?
wonderful.
I'm sorry.
Yes. All I was always going to say is Cindy's wonderful to work with, so of course we want to have her continue doing all that great work.
Absolutely. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Our next point, I think, is public comment, right?
Correct.
Okay, so at this time, we will invite anybody in the audience to come up and address the board for public comment. Seeing none.
Mark might disagree with my hard cap comment, that's about it, so.
Okay, next item is 7, that's adjournment.
I make the motion we adjourn this meeting.
Support.
Motion Mary, support Phil. I don't think we need discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're done.
Okay, you said.